so I'm back again for another video, and this one is going to be a book review of First Life by Gina Showalter. I had been waiting for this book to come out for ages, so when it finally happened and I saw it in the bookstore, I was so pumped and I had to read it straight away, and it was actually so great, this book. I love the concept and the characters and everything about it was so much fun, and just people need to read it because it was so good. So good. And I will inform you now, this is going to be a spoiler-free review. I'm really going to try and not say anything that spoils the book. I really don't think I will, but just in case, I'm sorry for that in advance. But sorry if I do say anything, but I'm intending to do this without spoiling. So without further ado, let's get into the review. I'm just going to read the back of the book just so you can see what the book's about. It might be a bit easier than me trying to babble on about what it's about, so I'll just read this for you. So, Tenley, so that's her name, Ten, Lockwood, is an average 17-year-old girl who has spent the past 13 months locked inside the Pyron Asylum. I'm really bad at saying names for places. Pryan Asylum. The reason, not her obsession with numbers, but her refusal to let her parents choose where she'll live after she dies. There is an eternal truth most of the world has come to accept. First life is merely a dress rehearsal and real life begins after death. In the Everlife, there are two realms in power, Troika and Myraid. Longtime enemies and deadly rivals. Both will do anything to recruit Ten, including sending their top labourers to lure her to their side. Soon Ten finds herself on the run, caught in a tug of war between realms that will do anything to win the right to her soul. Who can she trust, and what if the realm she's drawn to isn't where the boy she's falling for lives? She just has to stay alive long enough to make a decision. What I like about this book is it really is the whole concept of heaven versus hell with these realms, with Troika being the heaven and Myraid being hell. And even though it's not as black as white as that, like they're both good and they both have good and bad properties, but the big difference between these two realms is one is bathed in light and one is shadowed in darkness. And as you can see on the cover, you've got this is Myraid and this is Troika. This is Troika, so you can see it that there's it's an hourglass, so it's like 50-50% of what you're going to choose, which I think was really exciting. I liked both realms, and I really liked that you only got to saw slithers of each one, because Ten, the main character, is still in her first life and she still doesn't know what to choose. So when the two labourers come, Archer and Killian, with Archer being from Troika, I'm really bad with that one. With Archer being from Troika and Killian being from Myraid, they're both fighting to get her to choose what side she wants to go to. And if you don't choose a side, you end up going to Many Ends, which is a horrible place. You don't want to go there. It's horrible. It's more worse than death. It's really bad, but she doesn't know what to do, and if she dies without making a choice, she will go to this Many Ends area, and it's really not a good idea. But yeah, I really just liked the debate of these two realms, and there was so much development going into this idea, and I really enjoyed that as well. And if I was going to be asked which one I would choose, I would personally go to Troika. I would go to Troika just because I don't think I'd like Myraid. Like, they bargain with you a lot and they seem a bit two-faced, but with Troika they actually, you know, you're all equal, you're all one, you all love each other, it's all fun and happiness, and I really would rather be in that realm, and just sounds so much better to me. But now let's get to the characters. With Ten, I really enjoyed her. Just one thing with her is her obsession with numbers kind of annoyed me, just because there was so much about her obsession with number. Like, she'd say a number and then she'd describe things that relate to that number, and I'm always like, I don't really care about the square root of pi, or how many stairs are in a staircase, or how many buildings are in this. It's just, sometimes she would keep going and I'm just like, it's good enough. Stop. But I feel like hopefully in the next book it becomes more apparent why she's so obsessed with numbers. But I did like her. She was really strong, and with her time spent in the asylum, she really had to like get used to having to defend herself. Like, it's really sad that a lot of the guards in there would actually rape the girls that were in there, and it never happened to Ten. She'd always defend herself, but it's sad that you get the stories of some girls who've had that happen to them, and they'd always be getting tortured, because that's what they think, if they torture them enough they might just end up signing up with the realm they should belong to, because Ten's family is part of, like, has already signed up to Myraid, but Ten doesn't want to like she wants to make her own decision. She doesn't just want to do what her parents want for her, so she still hasn't made her decision, which is fun for her because everyone's trying to kill her and try and make her choose, and it's a very intense book. So much was going on. But now we should talk about the boys. I really liked Archer more than I liked Killian, and that's not like a romance thing at all. I just really enjoyed him a lot more because he was really more fun, more nice. And what's interesting with Archer's character is he actually was introduced as a girl at first, because with the labourers, they're actually already dead, so they come in these things called shells, which are just human bodies that they can inhabit. So they can never actually die when they're in their first life. When they're in these shells, if they die, they just go back to their realm and can come back. But I really liked it with Archer that he got sent in a shell of a girl at first, so Tenley, she got associated with him from the perspective of seeing him as a girl, but then when she met him as a boy, it was a really good friendship, and I enjoyed that, and I really liked Archer. And I also really liked Killian. He was so snarky and fun, and I really thought it was funny how for the first most of the book he used his sexual appeal to try and get Tenley to sign with Myraie, but it just wasn't working on her, so he started really opening up to her, which I really enjoyed, and I really am excited to see where that relationship goes as well. And what I really enjoyed too with these boys is, like, I didn't see it as a love triangle in this book. Like, romance is a part of the series, but it really took a backdoor plot for me because it was more about them trying to make fun reasons for her to choose which side. So I really liked both relationships, and I really hope they get developed a lot more, which I really want. This book's just great, and I can't wait for the next book, Lifeblood. It should be amazing, I hope, and I just can't wait because so much stuff is going on in this book, and I really would like to talk about more, but I can't. Such a good book, and I really recommend people read it, and yeah, please read it. But anyway guys, thanks for watching my video, and I'll see you soon.